put on my dress.
Might want to feel pretty. I don't know, man.
Are you having some fantasy I don't know about, and you want me to put on a dress?
No, I have no idea what he's even talking about.
Oh my gosh, man! I'm telling you guys, every time before we go on live, Rod's always got to say something quirky to make me laugh, so it's good. So, well, good morning to you. It is another Thursday. It's another episode of the RoadFS Podcast. I'm Jody.
And I'm Rod Puzey. And we want to encourage everybody to go out to our YouTube channel, YouTube/@RoadFS, and subscribe and like and do all that good stuff. And also go out to the RoadFS.com website and check out our software, because that is what keeps this podcast and us going.
That's right, man. And we are super excited. If you guys saw our feed a couple weeks ago, we had the privilege to go down to the Peterson Auto Museum. Rigo Santana and the New Generation Detailers and the Sonex team invited us to go down. And while there, we got to connect with some amazing business owners, some really cool detailers, and just some awesome people in general. And one of those guys is our guest today, Mr. Carlos Cazeres. From
yes, sir.
Mobile Detail. Good morning to you. How are you?
Good morning, sir. I'm good. How about you guys?
You know, we're good, man. It's always fun to talk to you. You know, Rod and I, we're kind of wishing we were in Arizona today, because we woke up to 2 inches of snow, and I am done with the snow.
I don't even mind snow, and I hated it this morning. So
it's nice. It's hoodie weather right now, but we got a little bit of sprinkle about 6 a.m., but now it's clearing up and you just got a little breeze, but it's nice.
Yeah, well, get ready, because hell's just around the corner.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, yesterday it was pretty hot, so I was like, damn, here comes the sun.
Yep. So you're in Arizona, obviously. Where at in Arizona are we?
So I live in Mesa, but my area is like Scottsdale, Paradise Valley, like North Phoenix, pretty much.
Okay.
That's cool. So how did you get started? I mean, you're a mobile detailer. You're doing a boatload of training to extend some of those services. So let's start with where you got started and to explore that journey a bit.
Kind of like I started about 6 years ago, but I've always been like, my first job was worked at a car wash. My dad got me the job when I was like 15, 16. So I worked there for about 3 years, and that was a little town, Douglas, Arizona. I worked there for a while. Then I just started doing like my mom's work coworkers, because she's like in the medical field. So where she worked, there's a lot of doctors, nurses, and everybody there. So I was like 17, 16, and I wanted a car pretty much to cruise. So I would use the excuse to wash their cars. Plus I would make money. And I had a cool different car every time to cruise the high school during lunch or after school. So I would always do that. And then I just continued doing that throughout my life, but just for me, like for myself or my family or a friend's asked, nothing like I do now. And then like 6-7 years ago, I took my personal vehicle to this car wash in downtown Phoenix that did hand car washes. And they were okay, but they were offering a detail that day, and I was like, cool, I'll do it. Like, it was $300, I believe, and it was supposed to be like maybe what I would consider like a one step in an interior detail. Well, when I got it back, it looked like it didn't look good. So I was like, man, I can do better than that. Plus I just lost $300, and I was like, damn, dude. And I started looking on the internet, and I noticed that it was a big industry. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just try this. And I looked into a training, and I found first training I went to was a 3D car care in Santa Clarita, I believe. My trainer was Francisco, if I remember correctly. Okay. And I went through their week training, and I got certified through them. And then I just went to the streets, and I started with a little Silverado out of my bed, and I just continued. And I focused a lot on my polishing. So I would practice a lot on polishing. I learned from a rotary from Francisco, and he showed me the DA also, but the rotary would do more work and faster. But then I got introduced to the flex too, so that changed my life also. Yeah.
So I want to go back. What was
Yeah.
the car you drove?
The one I took to the car wash.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, I had a Mercedes. I had a S550, I believe.
dude, he's starting out large.
I was blessed. I was in low voltage, so I did a lot of special comms, and I made good money. And then at that time, I was working for an investor in real estate, so I was kind of like his project lead. So I was blessed. Yeah, I was blessed.
That's awesome. So
Good for you. So now you're set up as a mobile guy. What do you kind of focus on mostly right now?
Uh, Focus. Well, tell you the truth, I take care of a lot of people, so I do a lot of maintenance. But lately, we've been getting like a lot of wrap jobs, and PPF started to pick up. But ceramics, I do a lot of ceramics also. So I don't know. I guess a little of everything, I would say. But like my everyday job, every day is probably more maintenance washes. So I have a bunch of clients that are just like either on weekly or bi-weekly maintenance washes. So we just pull up to their house, either if they're gone or not. I have a lot of clients that travel a lot, so they just leave me their codes and their keys, and I take care of their vehicles, and they're nice and clean by the time they come back. We have in a lot of interiors also, so a little bit of everything.
Nice. So then let's talk about a couple weeks ago. We
Yeah.
know we've seen you. You followed us. We followed you. Your icon is pretty iconic.
Oh, thank you.
And I know when we got to California, I was like, damn, he looks just like him. So how did you get connected with the guys down there with Sonex and with New Generation Detailer and Rigo to get on that project?
Oh, that was through Rigo Santana. Because like once I took Santa Clarita class at 3D, like I always wanted to take another class. So looked at different ones. I looked at Chicago Auto Pros also. I looked at Detailing Success. I looked at a bunch of different ones, and then I found Rigo. I found Rigo through a mutual friend. We know him through here. He lives here in Arizona, but he used to live in California, and he mentioned Rigo to me, and I had already seen Rigo in the internet or through social media.
Yeah.
And he told me, hey, he's my buddy, why don't you reach out to him? And I was like, yeah, I would love to. And he gave me his personal number, so I was like, oh, okay. So I called him and we talked, and just his I don't know, like his vibe, the way he spoke to me, like he had me interested. I was hooked. And he told me he was doing Nueva Generación. At the time, we're calling it Nueva Generación. It still is, but now it's New Generation Detailer, just so it's a little more, I guess we can understand it. Yeah, for the mass. So I'm part of New Generation. So I jumped on it. And Rigo said he was having a training, I think like a couple months after that. So I was like, yeah, I'm down. So I went to Rigo's class. And after that, that's when I think it opened up a whole bunch of doors. And I think I maybe little took off from there, because I got introduced with Sonex, so I became a Sonex certified detailer, which I love because I love all their products. I got to do SEMA with them. I got asked to go be representative for Flex and Sonex, mainly Sonex, but Flex we're right in front, so they're kind of together. So we got to do both booths the whole week. I get to do Peterson Museum, like I met you guys there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of perks that we've gotten through New Generation, and that's through Rigo Santana.
You know, I think it's interesting because there are a lot of business owners that are reticent to go and get additional training. It's like, oh man, I know how to polish a car. I know how to lay a ceramic down. I know how to do interiors, right? But there's so much additional that you get in these trainings in addition to the network. All of a sudden you're connected to these people that provide some amazing opportunities. So let's talk about kind of the value that you've seen, that you're still reaping the benefits from doing these different trainings.
Wow, the values. I think the value is the best part. Like, not only do you have the knowledge, and it's like if it gives you a little more confidence also. like a little maybe. I don't like to say.
Oh, we lost
Oh
him.
no, we lost
No,
him. We lost the
dude.
man.
He left. Somewhere we lost his cell connection.
There he
he
is.
is.
Oh, sorry about that. I had an incoming call. Sorry about that.
That's all good. Yes.
But you said about training, right? My benefits.
Yeah.
The networking period, the knowledge, the confidence it gives me, pretty much everything. I'm out. I actually want to do more training. I'm always going to be in new generation detailer, but I would like to do another training. I kind of want to do it. Well, I've been doing other training. So I went to PPF training also with Rigo Santana and Laguna Hills. We did that the week after Peterson. So we had a 3-day training there from Luis from MK Detailing from Mexico came and trained us. So that was cool. But I want to do another training soon. I think it's super beneficial, not just for the contacts, but the knowledge, because you're going to learn something regardless.
Right.
Every class you learn something.
Yep.
Yeah.
You learn some little trick or some little tip or something that you didn't know, and you pick up on a better way to do it, more efficient or nicer, finer, whatever it is. I think that is the advantage of any kind of training. And I think anybody that doesn't continue to go to them, you miss out on that opportunity.
Yeah, definitely. Because then, like, even little tricks, like you said, like little help yous while you're in the field, or like I polish both indoors and outdoors, but here it's hotter, so we have to play with it a little more or try to figure out our combination better because it's hot.
Yeah. So how do you do that? Do you get up at 5 a.m. and work till 9 a.m. there in Arizona, or how are you managing the climate?
We're up early, so I'm on the road by like 5. I try to be to the client's house. Sunrise is usually like 6:30, and if it's a polish, obviously we ask for a garage or something indoors. I do have my tents, but I prefer not to do polishing direct sunlight, nothing like that, because that's not good for anything. But if I'm polishing, I try to do it real early in the morning, or if not in the afternoon, which it'll probably come home with me, or if the client's okay with it, we'll do it at their spot. But we just try to work the best we can with the hours. But our hours are usually from 6 to about 2 or 3, just because we don't want to work the whole day in the like super heat,
Yeah.
But sometimes we have to. Sometimes we do 6 to 6. So it just depends on what's on our agenda that day and what's on what we have to do.
Well, and I'm thinking about, I've been to Arizona quite a bit, and I'm thinking June, July, it's 114 degrees. You're 3 p.m. And I mean, as soon as you spray that thing, how do you not have water spots?
Oh, we use all DI water. So everything's filtered, and that's a blessing. That's like having like an extra hand. But all filtered water. I do put up my tent most of the time because, like you said, like as soon as you hit the foamer, like it'll dry super fast. If you don't have some type of shade, you're right. You're drying super fast or leaving spots behind. But what we do is we do a rinse, obviously, and then we do the wash, then we do another rinse, and then we do a spray foam at the end, and then we do a final rinse. So it's kind of like a double foam. First foam is where we agitate it and do it with our mitts and everything, and then the third foam is just to give it like a little extra wash, just in case any particles stay behind or they can lift with the soap or stuff like that. Then your final rinse, and then we'll dry right away. And we use Metrovax also, so that helps with the drying.
Yeah, you was gonna say you're blowing it all off of there anyway. So
yeah,
and especially if you're doing maintenance wash. So is and this is kind of a regional question about Arizona, but in Arizona, are there a ton of ceramics to try to help with that environment to keep the cars protected, even an extra layer?
They're a lot more popular now. Maybe about 4 or 5 years ago, not so much, but I would try to push them as much as I can, obviously, because it makes my life easier, and plus it protects the paint, because our heat is so harsh. Obviously, you know what it does to the panels, and especially that GM clear coat, it starts to oxidize it real ugly, and it pretty much destroys the clear. So I try to push them as much as I can, and they're a lot popular now. So there's a lot more people asking for them. But yeah, it's pretty popular.
So you've been mobile for a long time. You're starting to get more training with PPF and wraps and stuff. Is the goal to move into a shop?
Yeah, I would love to. I was in a shop for a little bit. With some other stuff I did maybe about a year ago. I got into a shop for a little bit, but it just didn't work out. So I made my 2-car garage into my shop for now. And yes, I would like to, but I don't want something big. Maybe in the future I would like something big, like Chicago Auto Pro style. That would be cool. But for now, maybe like 1,000 feet or something like that. Maybe I could fit 2-3 cars. I'll be fine.
Yeah, I've always said the best cars come out of 900 square foot shops. So
yeah, I'm perfectly fine with that, But obviously, end goal, I would love a nice big shop, but I want it like to be like a one-stop shop. I want you to have the option to do rims, tires, lift, drop, whatever you want, and then of course the detailing side, the protection side, color change if you want, all that.
Yeah.
That's super cool. I love the vision and the process of growing, right? It's like, all right, I'm going to be a mobile guy. I got the process, the system of working within my area dialed in. And now I'm doing these additional trainings so that I can move to the next phase. And I think one of the things that's a big challenge for business owners is they're trying to do it overnight. Right. And yesterday you and I were talking and I asked you the question about your shop and you're like, you know what? I'm trying to put a year's rent in the bank so that when I do make that decision, it's a strategic decision that's not strangling me.
Yeah, I definitely, I would love to have that cushion. And I'm not just saying a year's rent of rent. I would like the insurance and everything, just so I have a backer for me, because I don't want it to fail, and I want to succeed, of course. So yeah, my biggest thing is to have at least a year's rent with insurance and all that stuff put away before I jump back into another shop.
Yeah, that's awesome. So have you you're just a single man shop right now, right? So
Well, it's me and my wife.
Okay.
So,
So you do have somebody helping you.
Yeah, I have so the company is my wife and I, and then I have my oldest daughter. She works for me, and I have a worker also.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So every day it's 3 of us. So it'll be myself, my worker, and my daughter.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So that makes it a little easier when you move into a shop, because then you can have other people that are doing other things. And I got you.
Yeah. Like my wife takes care of all the back end. She does all the posting. She does the with paperwork and all that stuff, the QuickBooks and all that good stuff. So she takes care of all that. But she's on the field too. She's actually better than me in the interior. I gotta give it to her. She's pretty bad at interiors. I'm good, but she's better. Yeah. So when she needs to come out, she comes out.
Recognizing those strengths is important, right? So
yeah,
I want to go back, and as you reflect on kind of your journey, right? What are some key things that you think are critical to building a successful business?
Be on time, show up, be dependable. That's like number one, because like the client's time is just as valuable as your time. It doesn't matter if you're mobile or not, or they're not going to be there or not. Usually they expect you there at the time you said. So that would be my main thing. And don't rush into something so fast, like try to take your time, because it'll come. Practice makes perfect. Like I learned off a rotary, and then I moved to the flex. So like I didn't know how to polish anything at that time. All I was a car washer. So when I went to 3D, that's when I was like, wow, this is not just car washing. This is a whole nother level. This is detailing that, like, I can make that paint that looks like crap look like $1 million.
Yep.
So I would just say, take your time and don't stress it. There's enough cars for everybody.
Yeah, and I think that's really important, both of those pieces, because as Jody was talking about, we see so many people that want to go from, this is my first year of detailing, and next year I'm going to be the spokesperson for the entire detailing industry. And I think that's what's hard is that people, I love goals. I love people with high aspirations and things they want to do, but you also have to put in your time. And that's part of it is I always tell Jody, the example is, nobody started their first car as a Ferrari. Everybody had a piece of crap for their first car. And it helps build your character, helps you understand how to take care of vehicles. And then you were able to move up. And it doesn't matter what your next car was or next 3 cars. You can't start out with a, brand new Escalade. It doesn't work that way. So
exactly.
And business is the same way. You've got to put in your time, and you've got to have, everybody's on their own path. And I know there are some people that can do it faster, and that's great. But man, there's so many people I see that I feel like they're going to burn themselves out because they're trying to do everything,
Yeah. No, I rather time. I got the time. I'll put in the time. That's fine with me. I don't want to rush anything, because I think everything comes at its time. Like when it's time for me, it's going to be time for me. So I'm fine with that. And I love what I'm doing right now. I love the process. I love the people I meet. Like it just keeps getting better and better for me, to tell you the truth. I'm grateful.
Yeah, that's awesome. One of the things that you and I were talking about yesterday too was I asked you how you're building your PPF business and your app business, right? And you said something that really struck me. You said, look, I started on my personal car first, then I went to my wife's, right? And you learned the craft. You went to training, you learned the craft, and then people started noticing the work that you're doing. And all of a sudden you're getting all of this business because your work is speaking louder than your voice.
Yes, sir. Yeah, like you said, I with the rap, I just started with like chrome deletes, or like somebody asked me, hey, can you black out my hood? And there was a guy that I knew that he was kind of learning at the same time, but I watched a lot of videos. But I know videos is not everything. You got to get hands on. So then I just started trying it myself, and I would just learn little techniques that I remembered on the video. I would try it myself and mess up and take it off and do it again. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to just try it. And slowly it's just been building. And right after the PPF training, I just I put it on my Instagram here and there, but I told a couple of people, and I've gotten like 3 jobs already. So I feel grateful. It's pretty awesome.
It's actually pretty fun. I did a little tiny thing on a truck, but it's fun to do. It's a different process. It does have little tips and tricks. Pretty soon you heat that stuff up and you're like, whoa, what did I just do? But I think that's the key, is to get your hands on it. I'm that way. And I do the same thing. If I want to learn something, I watch videos on it to kind of start to get that process. But until I get my hands going and get on it, you can't really get a feel for what you're doing. So
yeah, like they say with the polishing, go out and get a piece of hood, or or a car that it's not going to be so bad if you mess it up. Mess it up.
Okay, you said it with the PH.
That's right.
There you go.
Phone.
Yeah.
No, you got it.
Good thing I caught myself, right? So you can mess it up. So you won't know until you burn the paint. It's just like that. I tried the heat on the vinyl to see how far I can go with the heat until I burned it. So that way I know where I'm at.
Yeah. I think that's important to do. And I've told people to do that too. Get an old hood and try to burn through it. We were doing that we were at the RoadFS training center, but I've done it with a Flex as well. But to try to burn through paint until the point where the hood is, you can feel it start to warp because it's so hot.
Yeah. Put your hand on it too, so you can feel it.
Yeah. I remember us trying to burn through it. Nathan Warren's boat training. We had a couple panels on the side, and we were teaching Melinda gambling, and Carlos is going, come on, let's really do this. And Daryl Lyons, he's like, and the thing was just smoking. I'm like, you're not gonna put that much pressure.
Yeah. But at least you know it, though. You'll never use that much, but at least you know where you can and can't go.
Yeah, that's good. So how do people connect with you, man? You're in beautiful Phoenix, and before we ask that, I just have to show you this.
Mhm.
Joanne Hurtado, proud mama, baby.
That's my mom. Yeah.
That's your
Hi,
mom,
Mom.
baby. So we have
Yeah,
to
that's
shout
cool.
out to
Shout
mom
out to
because
mom.
mom's like
Shout
tapping
out.
in, like loves to see the success of her baby. And here's the thing. One of the things that I really enjoyed about getting to know you is you're just real, right? You're fun to talk to, you're helpful. And I think about you and I working on the lights of that police car, and I'm
Oh
just
yeah.
holding it and you're polishing it out and stuff. And we just had a great time together. And I've just really enjoyed every interaction with you. And I'm sure your customers love and enjoy that same interaction.
Oh, thank you. Likewise. Yeah, I just try to keep it real. I'm just Carlos. I run Cayro detail with my wife, and that's it. Like, and truthfully, like if anybody has questions or anything, call me. I'm cool with that because at the beginning I got no help. Like it's kind of like, and I understand everybody's like, hey, you're the competition or whatever. Actually, there was one team out here in Phoenix. They're from Buckeyes, Candy's Detailing. I like to give them a shout out. They helped. Like they were cool. Ramsey and Elmer, they were cool. But
That's awesome.
pretty much everybody else was like, no, you got to learn yourself, which I understand, but to me, I'm an open book. Like eventually if I get to train in the future, that would be cool too. But
Yep.
I'm here for everybody.
That's awesome.
That
So
is awesome.
guys,
So-
there's his web address, Cayro Mobile Detail, 480-781-8360.
Yeah.
Where else we find you on Instagram at Cayro Mobile, right?
Yeah, Cayro Mobile Detail everywhere. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all across the board. Websites, Cayro Mobile Detail. So we kept it simple and easy.
That's
Yep.
awesome, man.
Awesome.
So,
Well, we really enjoyed talking to you every time we talk to you. So I'm sure we'll do a bunch of stuff in the future. And we look forward to working with you again on some of these cool projects like the Peterson Museum.
Likewise. Yeah, I look forward to it. And anytime, guys, I'm here for you guys.
that's
Awesome.
good. Well, man, thank you so much for joining us, sharing a little bit of your amazing story. I love the insight that you brought. And guys that are tuning in, please go out, subscribe right there. Subscribe to the RoadFS podcast. Also go check out roadfs.com to learn more about the software. And you guys, actually next week, we're not going to be here. We're actually going to be at the Rag Company for the TRCMA event. So look forward to that. That's going to be all week next week. We'll be putting some links up into that. So Rod and I are excited about doing that.
So we'll be doing that. So stay tuned to that. It's all next week. It's a ton of different vendors and stuff. It's a virtual trade show and it's fantastic. So tune into that next week.
So check you later.
See ya.
See ya.
See ya.
There you
Bye,
go.
guys. Thank you.
See you later,
Thank
man.
you very much.
Appreciate it.
All right.